How are we doing?
In the repair shop today,
I'm using quite a heavy grade sandpaper to sand the back of the velvet down.
a masterclass in ageing gracefully.
It is actually really making it look like it's a bit moth-eaten and quite old.
And it's mission impossible for Susie
I just need to dismantle everything.
as she works on a wartime codebreaker's keepsake.
I've got to take it right back to bare bones.
But first, Londoner Pablo Henderson has a piece of musical heritage to test the powers of electronics expert Mark Stuckey.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good.
Cool.
I'm Jay. And you are?
Pablo.
Pablo.
Hello, Pablo and Mark.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
So I know what this is. This is a record player, yeah?
Yeah.
So whose is it?
It's mine. I used to run a sound system in London. From the 80s to the 90s, I used it on my sound system. And, but I started sound system with my dad. I was probably about 2, 3, and Dad was tinkering around with a turntable and an old valve amplifier.
2, 3, that's young.
It's probably in the bass unit.
I grew up on sound systems. It was basically a way, when people came over from the Caribbean, because they couldn't get into parties or nightclubs, they set up their own.
That's right.
Where it's basically you have speakers, and then you used to just have a party.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, have a proper knees up.
Yeah. My dad came to England from Jamaica.
Right.
He came in the late 50s, early 60s. He didn't have a lot of family and stuff around at the time, you know, because they came like the end of the Windrush era.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like hard for Dad and his community and stuff to like socialise and stuff.
Yeah.
Sound system was a good way for people to socialise and come together. And then also it was a way of us hearing the music that we wanted to hear, because we couldn't hear reggae and calypso and soca and certain things on mainstream radio.
Yeah.
So our sound system was our radio station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old was you when Dad started teaching you about the sound system?
7. He would stand me on the stool, I'd stand up in front of the turntable, which, you know, would be up there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd select the records, do the microphone and everything like that.
Wow.
Love it. Always have, always will. Like, I can't thank my dad enough for, like, giving me his passion and making me feel the same passion that he had.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
Even in its current state, yeah? You love
Even in its current... That's why we've still got it.
it? Yeah?
Even though it's not working, we've still... It's part of our history. We can't, you know, can't part with it.
This was originally built in 1957 to 65.
That's right.
Right. Wow.
But, yeah, they're very highly collectible today.
Is your dad still with us?
No, unfortunately, he passed in 2018.
Okay.
I still have quite a few of my dad's original records from Jamaica.
Yeah.
And I know, like, if it was up and running again, I'm sure Dad would look down and say, nice one,
Yeah.
Pablo, nice one, P, you know.
So what's actually wrong with it then? What's...
So the motor kind of burnt out. We was using it and I could smell the motor burning out.
Okay.
It needs a new stylus.
Okay.
I think this is seized up, which is a selector for the speed.
Yeah.
A new plinth, obviously. And, yeah, hopefully get it up and running and get the history going again.
We got to get this playing.
It's been lovely travelling down this memory lane with you, and I just can't wait to start work on it.
Thank you.
You take care now.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Dad was like my superhero, my mentor, my everything. I'm really hoping that I can start to play original vinyl from my dad's original record collection on the turntable again. It would be like wonderful for myself, my children and my grandchildren to see it working and up and running. It would be amazing.
I tell you what, Mark, I cannot wait to hear this playing.
It will be really good, won't it? Because these are a piece of history now.
Yeah. So what you got to do to it?
A lot of things, really, but I've got to sort of check the motor, clean it all up. It's full service.
All right, if you're doing a full service, I'm going to get Will to sort out the plinth, because that is not really presented well, is
it
it?
deserves to be presented in a much better way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, well, Pablo wants to get this playing, so do I.
I'll
Good to see you,
get
Bench.
going with it, all
Yes,
right.
please.
First thing I'm going to have to do, now I've got it on my bench, is to remove this, which is called the platter. Now, this particular turntable has a spline which locks it into place. And this is a little coat hanger I adapted. The idea is that while I pull up, I hit down to release. And it takes it off. Newton's law of physics, equal and opposite reaction, and you get a result. I'm going to start cleaning up, take a lot of this apart, and at the same time, I've also got to check to see if the motor is serviceable, because without the motor working, none of this will operate.
As Mark sets to work on his audio antique, outside, a stately heirloom in a bit of a state. Andy Matthews and his daughter Anna need the skills of wood restorer Will Kirk and upholsterer Sonnaz Nooranvary.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome. Come in.
Thank you.
I'm Sonnaz.
Hello, Andy.
Hi, I'm Anna. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you both. I'm Will. A chair. A broken chair by the looks of it.
A bit of a wobbly chair.
It's quite an elegant-looking chair. What's the story behind it?
Well, my granddad was an usher at King George VI's coronation.
Wow.
In
Wow.
1937.
Right.
And as an usher, he was given the chair that he sat on during the service.
Wow.
So that's where it originates from.
Lovely.
And so my grandfather kept it, and when he died, my mum inherited it
Lovely.
and looked after it beautifully.
Yeah.
And then when she died, it came to me, and it's become a bit more tired.
Oh.
Now, to be invited to the coronation is quite a prestigious event.
Absolutely.
Is there a specific reason why he was there?
Well, the ushers were chosen from people who fought in the First World War. He won a military cross for bravery.
How old would he have been then?
24, 25?
Wow. A brave man.
Yeah. He died when I was 7, 8, but I remember him being a granddad.
Yes.
So it's difficult to think of him being a war hero as well.
Yeah.
It was only after my mum died that I became aware exactly what he'd done.
That must have been such a proud moment, not just for him, but for the rest of the family, to not only be awarded a medal, but also to go to the coronation as well.
Huge.
It's been a huge thing.
Well, I know, and that's why my mum cherished the chair so much.
Yeah.
Because it was a really big memory of her dad.
Yeah. It is a bit of a piece of history, really, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Which is why I feel horribly miserable, sad, and a bit guilty that it's sort of worn and torn to this state now.
What would you like myself and Sonnaz to do?
I don't think I'm expecting or want it necessarily to be in the same state as it was in 1937, but just so it keeps and stays, and just very, very keen that the chair is there for Anna and her sister Frankie in the years to come.
We will take very good care of it.
Thank you.
Right.
Nice
Take
to see
care,
you.
won't you?
Bye.
Bye.
My granddad was unbelievably brave at a stupidly young age in the war, and I don't think the chair as it is now is what he deserves.
It's so important to start kind of this restoration process together, because I'll be the 4th generation of having the chair, and it'll just be nice to know that it's going to kind of carry on the kind of history and the memory that it serves, I suppose.
This is a really cool chair, isn't it?
It's a stunning chair.
Thankfully, all the wood is there. It's just broken in all the joints by the looks of it. I'm sure I can handle that. What are you going to do with the upholstery?
I'm not absolutely sure, to be honest. Really would love to be able to keep the fabric if I can. There's not enough braid for the rest of the chair. It'd be such a shame to get rid of this embroidery as well. So some considered thought, I think. I'll take the fabric off for you and then give you the frame to work on, and then I'll have a think about the upholstery in between.
Lovely. Well, I'll leave it with you.
Thank you. One of the really worrying things about this chair is the fact that on this top edge, there really isn't enough fabric to pull round to get a nice tensioned edge. So I might have to think about sourcing a new fabric, aging it, and somehow making it look part of this chair. first things first, I need to delicately take all the fabric off. Then that will enable Will to work his magic on the frame.
But before he can get his hands on the chair, Will's skills are in demand on the vintage sound system turntable.
Well, this is an incredibly unique turntable. It needs a lot of love. I mean, we have one sort of existing panel here, but everything else is just a bare chipboard. I'm going to start fresh. We're going to go with some nice solid oak, and I'm going to cut out a new top as well. I'll polish up the sides. It's going to look gorgeous.
Pablo mentioned that the motor was smoking, which was pretty horrific to hear. It could just be the fact lack of maintenance. That's not uncommon. If you don't give it some oil occasionally, the bearings will get dry, they will run hot. So I've lubricated it, I've turned it by hand to slowly free it, and I'm now going to turn power up. And we'll wind up the variac. The shaft is now starting to show signs of turning, and it's now got full voltage, and that is very healthy. Excellent. That means the heart of this turntable is functional. So that's a really good sign. I'm really pleased about that, because that was the most worrying point on that note. I've stripped the turntable down and it is so seized. I've never seen one so bad. This part, the speed selector, at the moment I can barely get it to move. What I'll do now is apply a little bit more oil there, and I've just literally got to keep working at it, allowing it to get the lubrication in there so it will work free. And it's just a matter of patience. You just can't rush it. I've spent a considerable amount of time rebuilding, recleaning the speed selector. So it's now going up in different sizes and selections. It means that's now working, happy with that. I'm now going to start cleaning the shaft of the motor itself. First of all, just wire wool, very fine. And that should make this shiny. There's always something satisfying when you actually clean something from like a dirty or a rusty look to a nice shiny metal. It's like cleaning your car. It always seems to go smoother and better when you've washed it.
I'm going to replace the red fabric on the top. I've got this red stick-on baize. This is really straightforward to apply. Well, that looks really vibrant. It's going to complement the brown wood really well. And once Mark has finished with the turntable, it's going to look smashing.
Next, a tale of wartime espionage. This mission comes courtesy of Wendy Bray from Bristol. She's hoping the Barnes special agent, Susie Fletcher, can fix her treasured keepsake.
Hello.
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 Hi.
What's in the bag?
Well, this is my late mum's writing case.
Okay.
I can remember it as a child being opened and being bright red. An abiding memory for me is her sitting by the fire with her head bowed with this on her lap. So when there was a letter to write to the council or a letter to write to the school which was quite often in my mum's case. Out would come the blue paper, out would come the blue envelopes, out would come a fountain pen. And she even took out a piece of paper from it for me to draw.
Do you know who gave it to your mum?
I think it was her parents before she left home at 17, just before she joined the WAF.
OK.
And then she was sent to Bletchley Park. And her job really was to take half-decoded messages, trying to reverse what the Germans were sending through their Enigma machines to find out what the message was.
Gosh.
Were you brought up being told all these stories, or was she still sworn to secrecy?
No, because, of course, she signed the Official Secrets Act.
Yeah.
So it was only in 77, 78, and we were sitting watching BBC News, and she just looked up and said, "Oh, I was there." What? And then very, very slowly, bits of information came out. She had this writing case all the way through her life, from then on, writing letters home.
Right.
This to my dad. He went into Normandy, and he was in Germany for a while. So those letters would have flown backwards and forwards quite frequently, I think. So much love has gone into that. So many letters home were written from that. And it seems such a shame that it's in this state now, really.
What would be your vision for it? I mean, what would you like to see?
I think I'd like to see it as I remember Mum using it a lot.
Yeah.
To see that red and to see it looking as if it could be used without falling apart would be absolutely lovely. I want to give this to my daughter for my granddaughter. Yeah. And I need to do this fairly soon because I've got stage 4 cancer. So although it's hard for me to believe sitting here, it's probably as hard as it for you to believe looking at me. I've only got about 4 or 5 months left.
So sorry.
So I want to do this so that it's done for her, to be something that I've given my daughter to give to my granddaughter, that reminds her of not only of me, but of her great-granny.
So there's a connection all the way through.
Yes, all the way through.
Yeah, yeah.
I can assure you I'm going to give all I have to get this back into your usable condition.
Thank you. That would be delightful.
It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
Bye-bye now.
Bye. My mum's writing case is very special. It's the last thing I have of her. And it's the one thing that I can remember all through my life. It's my history as well as her history joined together. And it's joined together in the way that the contents were letters to those that she loved and letters from those she loved. So it's just a perfect, really, symbol of her life and my life entwined, really.
So Wendy has explained that she, unfortunately, has limited time, and that is something that I feel is very brave of her to tell us. And with that, it gives me a huge responsibility. Through the years of use, the surface finish is actually flaked off. So I'm going to go very, very cautiously with building up that collar. I just need to dismantle everything. I've got to take it right back to bare bones, and then I can start to rebuild these edges and get it strengthened. I'm going to start by removing the lacing and the thread that's holding it together.
With his work on the turntable done and dusted, Will can turn his attention to the wobbly frame of the Coronation chair.
If I look down the crack here, all of the wood still seems to be there. It's just a case that the glue has really dried out and that has sort of loosened everything. You can see there's so much movement in this chair. I'm going to use this mallet here. It's a rubber mallet. I'm going to use this to knock this apart. I'm going to clean out the old glue from all the joints and the cracks and the grooves and prepare it for regluing. Hey, Sonnaz.
Hello, Will. Wow.
Well done.
Fantastic. Look at that.
Really sturdy.
Thank you so much. It looks great.
How are you getting on with the upholstery?
I'm just kind of picking through it now and taking all the old tacks off. Now that you've brought this over, I can start webbing it.
I'll let you get on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
See you in a bit.
Bye. It feels so good to start getting some webbing on this chair. I'm using traditional tacks to secure this webbing to the frame. And really, this forms the foundation. On top of this webbing, I'll then tack on a layer of hessian, and that basically stops everything falling through the gaps. I've got to the stage now where I'm giving this original fabric a bit of a clean, but I've got a problem. The very top of that inside back, the fabric has completely disintegrated, and I won't be able to reattach that back to the wooden frame. So I'm just looking at some fabric samples that I've ordered that kind of sit within the same hue as the faded fabric, and I'm experimenting to make it look old. I'm using quite a heavy grade sandpaper to sand the back of the velvet down, and it is actually really making it look like it's a bit moth-eaten and quite old. So now that I've done that, I can start trying to dye it down with some tea to get it to blend in with this original fabric. This darkest colour, now that I've aged it, it really is looking very similar to that old fabric. I can't quite believe it's worked so well, to be quite honest with you. I really thought this was going to be the sticking point of the restoration of this chair, but luckily enough, I think I've done it. I'm now attaching my new old-looking fabric to the back of the chair next to the original fabric in such a way that when the braid is on top, you're not going to see where it's joined. I've got that in position now, and I've tacked all the way along that front inside edge. Now I'm going to lift the chair up, pull that fabric up and round and tack it off on the outside. And just looking at it there, I really can't believe what such a good match it is. I am thrilled with the result. I almost can't believe that I'm upholstering a chair that was made specifically for the coronation of King George, and I'm enjoying every second of it.
The record player that powered parties in London during the 80s and 90s is almost ready to drop a beat once again.
First of all, where's the holes? There's one, there's two. Look at that. Wow. What I've got to do now is do a test to make sure it's actually outputting from the cartridge, it's turning correctly, the exciting time. So now I'm going to just turn my power up. We now turn it on. So it's got a healthy output, which means it will drive any amplifier, which is important. So that is perfect. I've now just got to do a few little checks, and then it'll be ready to show it to Pablo.
This turntable was a link between a father and a son, and the love for the sound system culture that they shared.
Got it working?
All ready to go, Jay?
All right, let's get it covered up because he's going to be here in a minute.
Pablo's hoping its distinctive sound will transport him back to those halcyon days.
Today's very special for me. Like, I've got so much anticipation, excitement. Like, can't wait to hear the turntable that I grew up listening to and thinking about Mum and Dad and all the wonderful times we had with reggae music and sound system. I can't wait, to be quite honest. Yeah.
Nice to see you back.
How you doing, man? You good?
I'm good. How's everyone?
Hey, look, he's even brought records.
Yeah, something from Dad's collection.
Oh, wow.
Original.
Oh, stop it, have you?
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Very excited, to be quite honest. I'm not even sure about my expectations, but I'm just hoping to hear the beautiful tones that we used to hear at the turntable back in the day.
Oh, OK.
Yeah.
You ready to sit?
Let's go. Stop it. No. Really? Wow. And you've even put the red felt back on. Wow, and what a beautiful plinth. Wow. And an original cartridge as well, with needles. This is my dad.
Yeah?
This is my dad all over.
Yeah?
I'm shocked, because it's just bringing back memories of Mum and Dad and playing out and... Yeah. Sorry. This really means a lot.
I can see that.
Wow. I'm sure Mum and Dad will be smiling now.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you.
What your dad started with you, like that whole introduction to this beautiful, rich culture, he's going to be super proud up there now, just knowing that you're going to continue this legacy.
Thank you.
I'm so pleased. It means so much to you.
It does.
Yeah.
So you're going to do us the honours?
Yes.
You've got a record, you're the selector.
I have. I brought a nice little dub plate, Jay.
OK. It's one you've done, yeah?
Yep, one of our own productions.
Oh, wow.
So what do you think?
It's amazing. After 20 years in the attic, you guys have brought it back to life and it looks fabulous. It sounds fabulous. It's like beyond all my expectations. Overwhelmed, full of joy. Thank you so much.
But we're going to get this packed up and bring it out to your car.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Take care.
You take care.
Bye,
Nice to see you.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
For not hearing it for over 20 years, it was absolutely amazing, to be honest. Yeah, incredible. It just brought back fond memories of Dad and Mum to have an original piece of history and our culture back up and running in such good condition and sounding so sweet. They would be amazed. They'd be overjoyed, as I am overjoyed.
Now that she has removed the old lacing from the codebreaker's writing case, Susie can focus on strengthening the leather pieces.
The main pocket at the inside of the writing case was in particularly bad condition on this edge. Literally every one of these holes had split through. So I've lined the back edges with a zephyr, which is a very thin leather, almost like tissue paper, and it's very, very strong. But we still have quite an unattractive look on the front here. So I feel in this instance I can add a strip of leather all the way around that will be complementary to the design. Let's push that down well. I've got a lot of holes to punch here, but at least I can see from the underside through the zephyr exactly where those holes are. So I'll be very accurate with replacing the holes that I'm going to be using. I'm just going to start the lacing process now. It's a wonderful thing to be able to fulfill people's dreams, and they come in with a special request like this. I sometimes think I'm one of the luckiest people on the planet to have the skill to be able to fulfill that dream. The inside of this case has actually got quite a bit of damage at the top and the base of the spine, and it's all those years of folding and being stood on edge, I expect. So I've stained down some pieces of leather, cut to a nice shape to be glued on top, and that is going to cover up all of that damage and give a little bit more strength. So just get this in position. It's all going to look rather tidy if my plan comes together as I have in my head. It's very clear that you've got the new leather next to the old leather, and what I want to do is put some coloured conditioning cream on. I think it's just going to give a really nice finish. So already I can see that that's a really good colour match there. Now I can build up those colours gently.
On her restoration of the Coronation chair, Sonnaz is ready for some right royal finishing touches, courtesy of a heritage specialist who makes trimmings for stately homes, castles and palaces.
I've got this brand new braiding that we had made, replicated the original, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like on the chair. So this is the moment of truth. That is absolutely perfect. I'm going to pin the braid in place, and then once I've done that, I'm going to stitch it in place using a see-through thread. I can't wait to see what Andy and Anna think of the chair.
This chair, which graced the coronation of King George VI, was earned through valour on the First World War battlefield by Andy's grandfather. Today, joined by his daughter, he has come to see if the chair's noble heritage has been restored.
I'm really excited about being reunited with it. I mean, I think I'm particularly excited for you to get it back.
It's also made me think more about my granddad since we came down last time. I was 8 when he died, and actually the chair sat in my mum's house for years before I took it on, and I wish I'd asked her far more about it now, so really looking forward to seeing it again. It's a bit scary, actually.
I'm a bit nervous as well, actually.
Yeah. My leg is shaking.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you both?
I'm excited.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you've done with it.
I wasn't expecting to miss a chair, but I have missed a chair, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah, ready, ready.
Oh, wow.
That's unbelievable.
It looks so smart, doesn't it?
I meant to say something now, but honestly, I'm not sure what to say. That has blown me away. How have you done all this beading around here?
We had your braid specially remade to replicate the original, which is what you can see around the chair.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much, both of you.
Yeah,
That is,
thank you.
Wow.
I think we can both be really proud of it now. Have something in the
It's
family.
weird that you actually feel proud for something that other people have done. I mean, A, you for repairing it for us so wonderfully, but also, I mean, for the person who sat on it in the first place, and for my mum who's cherished it. She would just be unbelievably proud of what her dad did and the fact that it's now here again. Thank you so much for working so hard on it. It is wonderful to see it like that.
Yeah, thank you. Careful.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Lovely,
Yeah, that was lovely.
lovely chair.
I felt so proud because I think it's such a nice memory, obviously, for my granny and then my great-granddad who got the chair in the first place. It just felt really nice to see it in a way that it should be, really.
I realised how important it was as a way of passing on unbelievable amount of history and bravery that has been through generations of my family, and that bravery will still be seen by Anna and people to come, and that's a wonderful thing.
The end is in sight for Agent Fletcher's renovation of the Codebreakers case.
I've got all the new red lacing put in place. I have restitched the closing tab back. I can actually close everything together. You just feel that strength back. So there's some areas here that still need some attention. So I've got a conditioning cream here, and what I'm hoping is that it's going to help give it that lovely red back. To just start with a gentle dab, and just see how this starts to look. This is actually really good. I'm very happy. Once the entire case is conditioned, I think those memories of Wendy's mum using this case will be so vibrant, and it will match the vibrancy of this case.
This case was used by a spirited young woman to correspond with loved ones during her secret wartime work as a codebreaker. Back to collect it, Wendy, who wanted the case restored as a bequest to her daughter Lois.
I think being reunited with a case will be like being reunited with a bit of my mum, really. And it'd be a bit of my mum that I can pass on to Lois.
I feel really emotional about it because I know it's so special to Mum, and it's a reminder of the wonderful life of my Nana, and it's something that I can pass down to my daughter.
Hello, Wendy.
Hello, Susie.
How are
Lovely to see you again.
Oh, it's great to see you again. What are you hoping to see?
I think I'm hoping to see something that will remind me of it as I knew it best. My most vivid memories were when I was a child, before it started to fade.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping to see, I think.
Right, OK. Lois, if you would like to do the honours.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Am I allowed to touch it?
Absolutely.
The stitching is just beautiful, Susie. And it feels safe now. It doesn't, you know, it's not going to disintegrate in my hands. Can I open it?
Please do.
Oh, it's got blue paper. It's got blue paper in it. Oh, that's so lovely. That's so lovely. Oh, what a sweet thing to do. That's really sweet because it always had blue paper in it. I just noticed that the part of the leather that was obviously used most, with fingers going on it, is just that bit softer than the rest.
Yes.
So she did that each time.
Absolutely.
It's astounding, really.
Yeah.
You've not just restored a writing case, you've restored memories, you know, and memories are so important to me at the moment.
It carries a great deal of history for the family, doesn't it?
Absolutely. and it's been brought to life again.
The red's back, isn't it?
And the most special thing is seeing my mum's reaction and how much it means to her.
Thank you for sharing it with us.
I'm very, very grateful. Take it with us. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, bye-bye.
It's amazing having the opportunity to think about my Nana and to think about the wonderful woman that she was. And also, obviously, it's something that unites us as kind of 4 women as part of our family, and something that I can treasure.
I've so little of my mum to leave my granddaughter, and because I won't see my granddaughter grow up, and so I want her to have something which meant a lot to me when I was a little girl, so that when she wants to draw and she wants, you know, to write things, her mum can say, this was your great-granny's and this was your granny's, and Granny used to draw with this and have this pen. And I know you said you'll do that for her.
Absolutely.
But I think it's just brought it home a bit, really, for me. Yeah.